Hello? Sorry that there's no music. I just used the oh wait, I left the dishwasher on. Wait, one sec. Okay, I'm back. So the reason I don't put the music on is I am working on a video where I am going to be compiling it into a very long video, and I'm gonna edit out all my ums and ahs and my mouth noises, and I'm just using the raw YouTube file as opposed to recording it from OBS. So we're back to the presentation, guys. Yesterday we were working on, we went through all of the books of Avo, and today, oh my god, I left Serena. Serena's been outside since the last stream ended. I need to go get her. One sec. Oh. What are you doing over there, Weewa? Where did you go? Hi, I'm gonna ask that you stop running around in circles, please. Should I save this project? No. I can't find chat. I've lost you guys. I'm looking for you. Oh, there you are. Okay, now we're back for real, for real. You gonna drink your water? How about you come sit? You can sit in my spot. Do you wanna sit in Dad's spot? Yeah. No, actually sit. Get comfy. Get comfy. No, don't. Don't you a-woo. No a-wooing, please. I'm sorry. Are we gonna run in circles for a bit? I'm sorry I forgot about you. Don't blow out the mic, okay? No yelling into the microphone. Don't smack the mic with your butt either. So we're gonna wait for Serena to calm down. First live, hello. This is a strange one. We're gonna be doing a PowerPoint presentation whenever my dog calms down. Because I want the audio to be good, because I'm slowly cutting these together into like a big video. So many people for the secret stream. Are we gonna settle down, or are we just gonna keep running in circles? That was crazy. You got stuck outside? That's crazy. You should go to bed. That sounds like quite the ordeal. You should go sleep that off and not hit the microphone with your butt. Oh, Serena. Go to bed. Go. I will put you in your kennel. Go find somewhere comfy to sit. That is not comfy. Yes, you can sit in my chair. It's fine. I'm not going to sit there. Don't spin in circles. You're spinning in circles like a crazy lady. No, you cannot dig my chair. Thank you. Sorry about this. There's some silliness occurring. All right. So, we're not going to do any big preamble. This is all getting cut out. We're just going to jump into it. We're going to go over a few more comics today, hopefully. Maybe we can get through the entire presentation. If we do, I probably won't do another one of these for a while, because then I'll have nothing but RPs to go through, and I have to like reread the RPs, and it'll be a pain, but it'll be worth it. So without further ado, Sovereign. And now on to Sovereign, my first comic ever. Wait, I'm not supposed to spoil. Wait, we're from the start. Okay. And now on to Sovereign, the most amazing comic ever. That's like an actual subheading. Can you believe Sovereign came out originally August 14th, 2012? That's when my first webcomic came out. My very first webcomic. Yep, that's what Sovereign is. The first one me and Ursula ever made together. Ursula technically has more webcomics than me, because she started with her own comics on Smack Jeeves. Yes, I'm calling her out. It started as an RP between me and Ursula when we were in high school. That's very cool. A roleplay. There was one other person in the Sovereign roleplay who was a friend of ours. Never forget Jen, the secret third member of McKay and Gray. Many of the characters actually got cut from the story. So we're going to try and I went through the annals to try and find a bunch of characters that went missing. And that mainly occurred because Sovereign was way bigger than I wanted it to be. At like 500 pages, I didn't want to do 500 more, so I just rushed the ending. So that's the secret about Sovereign. It's a very silly story about pirates, about sky pirates specifically, and I'm sure we'll get into it with the very first character, Elias. Elias is a mage. He's got like these magical tattoos that give him powers. No, wait. I'm warming into this, guys. We're going to pretend that I'm not. I'm trying to pretend that all of these are in one long cut, but they're not. Whatever. Sorry. Let's go back one sec. Okay. So Elias is a mage. He is the ambassador to the Dark Kingdom, of the Dark Kingdom, not to the Dark Kingdom. He is from the Dark Kingdom. He is an ambassador. And what an ambassador is not an ambassador between nations, but an ambassador between humanity and the gods. So basically, the ambassadors are meant to communicate with the gods and bring their divine message to the world, but no one's done that in forever. The ambassadors are all mages. I don't know if I bring that up in my points at all, but they are all mages, and they have these really cool tattoos that were super great decisions on our part for a comic where you had to repeatedly draw them. Elias's parents died when he was very little. That's kind of his defining feature. Though I guess I don't know if it's a super defining feature considering other aspects of the story where everyone's parents are dead, but you know, that's a little part about him. He was raised by he was raised by his advisor, Olivia. She has crazy long hair. That's her defining feature. And Elias was captured by pirates. He ends up captured by... He ends up captured by pirates at the very beginning of the story. He's celebrating his 16th birthday. He's going to be coronated and get the final tattoo. Like, they get tattoos throughout their life. They slowly get more and more because mages basically are full of magic and they need the tattoos in order to let the magic out of their body. And he's getting his last one because he is 16 and his parents are dead and he's the only ambassador left in his kingdom. So get a move on, buddy. Time to be coronated. But not actually, because you get captured by pirates. But it is fine that he is captured by pirates, you see, because it was actually a good thing. We'll get into that in a bit. This is Raelle. Raelle is the pirate queen. Queen of the pirates. Self-proclaimed. Doesn't actually really mean anything, but she is a pirate, and she wants to be liked by the kingdom. And what better way to be liked by the kingdom than to capture the ambassador, right? No, there's clearly... Wait, what? I don't remember this PowerPoint as well as the other one. What better way to be liked than to capture the ambassador, right? Well, no, like she has like she kind of has a plan, but like actually she doesn't, because plans are stupid. She hates plans. She is all about gumption. She gets it in her little head that she's going to capture the ambassador, and it's a good thing to do so, and she hecking does it. Yes, she captures Elias to save him because there's a plot to murder Elias. And in order to save him, she swoops in on her flying airship and saves Elias. And she hates women. That is... it's a bit of a non sequitur, but it is a very big part about Raelle's personality. I must admit, she is a big woman hater. She is not like other girls. Yeah, Raelle was made by our friend Jen. She was like Jen's character. Ursula's character was Elias, and my character was the amazing Zoltar. Zoltar is the most amazing man alive to have ever existed. I really like these characters, don't I, that are like self-centered, self-aggrandizing. I don't know why, because Zoltar was definitely one of my favorite characters. He used to have like a Lul position in my heart. Not so much anymore. I still love him, but he doesn't resonate the way that Lul does. I think it's just because Lul is like a deeper character than Zoltar. He eats candles. Yeah, he's a magician, and one of his tricks is where he eats candles. I don't really know what the trick is. If there was one, I forgot it long ago, but yeah, he's a magician who eats candles. He ran away to join the circus when he was just a little guy. He didn't like the life that he had, so he ran away to go eat candles at the circus. He is actually, and the life that he ran away from is the life of an ambassador. I know, spoilers, a big major plot turn in the story, but it's been long enough. This came out in 2012. If you haven't read Sovereign, that's probably because I haven't put it up in a while. But yes, Zoltar is the lost heir of the Fire Kingdom. There's actually 2 of each kingdom, confusingly. They each had their own special names, and they would like the ambassadors from one nation would marry the ambassadors from another nation. Like that was kind of how it worked. So yeah, Zoltar is from one of the Fire Kingdoms. It's actually the first Fire Kingdom that they visit on their journey. And that's why he's nervous when he's there, but it's never brought up because I wasn't great at writing when it first came out. He was cursed by a witch also. That's a very important thing. What never gets brought up in the comic is how his curse works. The curse was supposed to affect Zoltar's emotions, okay? Because, like, he has his assistant, Eris, spoilers, who can feel... like who feels pain whenever he's separated from Zoltar. He starts bleeding out his ears and stuff. Like, it's awful. At Zoltar, it's supposed to feel the emotions. So Zoltar was supposed to very quickly be cured of this curse, but Zoltar is so obstinate that he didn't get cured. Because instead of being like, oh, I won't leave because a child will be hurt if I leave. He just kidnapped the child. He was 16 at the time. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. It probably makes it better, but it's still not a great situation. Anyways, here's Eris. So Eris is Zoltar's assistant. He is a little goober who was kidnapped by Zoltar. Yeah. Instead of breaking their curse, Zoltar just took him on an adventure with him, and the adventure never ended. Yeah, so like I said, cursed by a witch, and he just wants to go home. He's a very grumpy guy. Um, he's he's just a super grumpy little dude. I would be too if I was kidnapped by some smelly teenager. I think he was like 10 or 12 when he was kidnapped. And he hasn't been home since. And he's like 16 now. Yeah. Because he's the same age as Elias. Yeah. Moving on, here's Basil. Basil is the first mate of the pirate crew. He's very annoyed by Arael all the time. She really gets his goat. She never plans, and he is all about plans. And they cannot strike a balance. He grew up with Rael. They've known each other a very long time, and he has a huge crush on her. He blushes all the time when he think about Rael. Hi Martha's. Nice to see you. Welcome back to the PowerPoint. Teaching myself to draw with my left hand to save wear and tear on my right. I tried that for a bit. It did not work out for me, but I wish you the best of luck. But yeah, he's kind of like a foil to Rael. Like, I don't know if there's too much else to him. The next is Percy. Percy is a soldier that works for the Dark Kingdom, Elias's kingdom specifically, because as I mentioned, there are two Dark Kingdoms. And his mother died in what is known as the Seaside Shipwreck, or the Seaside Kingdom Shipwreck. I forget what it is specifically, but it's also where Elias's parents died. Yes, it was a big shipwreck that happened. Bandits took over the ship and crashed it, and Percy's mom tried to stop it, but she was shot dead. And yeah, that sucks for Percy. He hates pirates. I wonder why. And he has uncle issues. We might get into those. Next, we have Edvard. He is gay. Very gay. He used to be a soldier like Percy was. You might notice that there's a lot of blondes and stuff here. And that's because they're all living in like the light and dark kingdom area. Like all of like the people in the Dark Kingdom are like, they have like white hair and they're very pale because they only go out at night. And like, I think that was kind of the deal with all of the dark mages. Like being a mage like affected like your different like proclivities or whatever. We never got into that in the story. And then there's like non-mages who kind of blur the lines or whatever. I don't think mages are supposed to like date outside of like their type of mage. Like you can date like any human, like any non-mage you want, but you're not supposed to date other mages. And there's like taboo. It's taboo. You're not supposed to do that. But anyways, I got off track. This is Edvard, and he's a gay ex-soldier, and he wants to get Percy to see his side of things because he doesn't think that all pirates are bad, and he thinks that the soldiers are kind of bad, and he likes his snazzy pirate clothes. So that's Edvard. The next we have is Albert, another pirate. RRR. He talks like a pirate, like way too much. He says like R every other word. It's a lot, but we still love him. We love Albert. He mistakes Eris for Elias. So when they're kidnapping Elias, Albert mistakenly grabs Eris, and that's how Zoltar and Eris end up on this adventure to begin with, is when Albert is like, oh, that must be Elias, and captures the other pasty boy. Yeah, so that's that. He's the ship's cook. He also does like dishes and cleaning. He's like a mom pirate. And he is accident prone, as you can tell from his missing eye. Edward has an eye patch, but he's not missing an eye. He just uses it to see in the dark. It's like a strategy from being part of like being from the Dark Kingdom or whatever. But Albert is missing an eye, he's missing a leg, and he's missing a hand. So, accidents. They happen. This is Olivia. We mentioned Olivia before. She is Elias's mom figure, not his actual mom because his parents died, but she raised Elias in their stead when they died. She thinks Elias is a super hecking weenie. She doesn't care for him much, and she berates him and is a bad mom. Not all mom figures are good moms. She was and the main reason why she dislikes Elias is that she was promised Elias's place before she was promised Elias's spot on the throne before he was born. So basically the way that it works is you're supposed to marry how does it work? You marry you're supposed to marry one of the other mages from the other kingdom. So like there's 2 dark kingdoms. So you're supposed to marry one, and one of you will move into that kingdom, and then your other sibling is supposed to move, like 2 of the ambassadors switch over and marry each other's sibling, if that makes sense. And if they are both the same gender, if it lines up like they're both the same gender, they still have to get married, and then they have a child with one of their advisors. But because Elias's parents weren't able to have a child, Olivia ended up promised the space instead because she was like a high-ranking advisor. But Elias then happened to be born because of reasons, and she got really pissed at that. She's the meanie. We're moving on. This is Gracie. Gracie is Rael's rival. She is a bandit. She's the bandit leader and not a pirate. The difference between a pirate and a bandit is whether or not you have a pirate ship. It's a very simple world. She has a little girl gang. They're all great. A great counterpoint to Rael's boy gang. Gracie is for the girls. This is Crazy Jim. He was a doctor on the seaside shipwreck. He ended up stranded on a desert island. And he went crazy. Hence the name Crazy Jim. He lives in a barrel, and the barrel is his wife. Crazy Jim is a confusing character that is not my brainchild, okay? He came from the RP, and this was before I knew how to trim things from the RP, and I don't know if I would trim Crazy Jim from the RP. That said, there's a lot I do not understand about Jim. He is not truly my OC. I just adopted him, and his wife is his barrel. I believe that his actual wife died, and he was hallucinating when he was stranded, and it was like a Wilson type scenario, and he named the barrel his wife and treated her as his wife, and now he just lives in a barrel, I think. The pirates were not my doing. I'm sorry. He's a weirdo. He's a little freak. Anyways, this is Layson. Speaking of little freaks, he is Percy's uncle. He hates Percy. He is Olivia's bootlicker. He doesn't like Percy because Percy reminds him of his sister who died. This is Crossian. Crossian is Elias's buddy. They're buddies. He is the Light Kingdom ambassador, and he's kind of stupid. There's not much. He's like a huge jock, and he loves the ladies, despite the fact that he is engaged because he is an ambassador and he has to marry a specific lady. He's not above flirting with everyone he meets until he gets married. Yeah, arranged marriage, like I said. This is Bennett. Speaking of arranged marriages, she is the fire ambassador, and she is married to Robert, Ambassador Robert. And she was supposed to marry Zoltar, actually, but he ran away. She ripped his book. He was a big, avid book reader, and she ripped his book, and he bit her, and he ran away from home, and no one's ever seen him since. We can't blame Bennett, but also don't rip people's books, guys. This is Girl Robert. Her real name is Annabelle the Extraordinary. Okay, I guess that's not her real name. Her real name is Annabelle, and she is extraordinary. She ran away to join the circus. Another circus freak. Sorry. She ran away to join the circus because her mom was dying, and she didn't want to be there when her mom died. She was really scared of that, so she ran away to the circus, and her brother doesn't want her to come back because he was really upset by her abandoning them, even though she was kind of like a kid when this happened. She's in love with Zoltar because Zoltar and her ran away to the same circus, and she became infatuated with him. And he nicknamed her Robert. I wonder why that was. This is Rabbit Robert. She is a bunny. She's Zoltar's pet, and she lives in his pockets. He has a whole bunch of pockets on his coat, and yeah, she lives in them. In the real world, you shouldn't shove bunnies in your pocket, and it probably wouldn't be a good life, but this is a magical fantasy world, you know? So Rabbit Robert, we love her. This is Boy Robert. He's the fire ambassador, and he is Zoltar's brother, and he is the reason why, and the fact that he is Robert, Zoltar calls like everybody Robert. All of his friends were Robert because he missed his brother, basically. It's the story behind that, because he did like his brother. He and Robert ended up marrying Bennett instead of Zoltar. Yeah, so he's a sweet little guy. This is Freya. Freya is a witch, which means she uses magic without being a mage. She helped her master. She helped Elias be born by helping her master. Her master, okay, she had a master who used his witch powers to help Elias be born because they were having trouble having a child. And witch magic has a lot to do with like prayers to the gods and stuff, which is like a theme throughout a lot of my work, and definitely the least fleshed out within Sovereign. I'm sitting really weird. I need to go adjust 1 second. Bunnies are awesome. I like bunnies too. My bunny is too big and heavy to fit in a pocket. I don't know. Zoltar fit like a whole bunch of like encyclopedias in his pocket, so maybe his pockets would be good enough. Okay. So, yes. So she's a witch. She is the one who cursed Zoltar. She is flabbergasted when she meets them again that he is still cursed because she thought this curse would last like an hour. But Zoltar is just so obstinate and a doofus that it has been going on for 6 years, and he has yet to put himself above another person. She is the keeper of the Dark God's amulet. So, long time ago, all of the gods left behind artifacts with like immense powers and stuff. And some gods were a lot more stingy than others, so the Dark God left like a single amulet behind. And and Freya was able to obtain this amulet through her master and like her studies or whatever. Whereas the Wind God left tons of left like a whole bunch of artifacts, and those cores are used to make flying ships, basically. And those cores are used to make flying ships. I just wanted to say that without saying basically at the end because I say that so much. Ambassadors. Okay, so I was looking through the annals, as I mentioned, and I found a list of every single ambassador, and we're going to go through them, and I'm going to see if I remember anything about these people, because this is just a list of names, and there's so much lore to Sovereign that just got lost to history. So let's see what we can do. Ishka. Ishka is a wind ambassador. He was the wind ambassador, and he is arranged to be married soon. The interesting fact about the wind kingdoms is that one is in like a dry, hot desert, and the other is in a freezing desert. So Ishka is living in the hot desert, I believe, and yeah, I think that's the case. Ulrich. Ulrich is also a windy boy. I think Ishka is leaving, whereas Ulrich is staying behind. Ulrich is going to get married within the hot desert. Ishka has to move to the cold one. That doesn't make sense, actually. I'm not sure. Moving on. Anari is Ishka's wife. Anari has to marry Ishka. I just thought, for some reason, I thought that Anari moved and she wasn't dealing with the heat well from being from like the cold kingdom. Something like that is sticking out in my head, but I don't know for sure because these are just names and I'm trying to remember something I wrote like over a decade ago. But yeah, that's Anari. Dern, I have no clue who this guy is. I think he's a water. I think he's a water ambassador. Letta, yeah, I think he's a water ambassador, and Letta is his sister. Verna, maybe they're Earth ambassadors. Wait, one more. If Faye. Okay, I think Dern and Letta were water ambassadors. I think Verna and Faye are Earth ambassadors. Gilda, I have no clue who this is. Kijin, she shows up in the very first section of Sovereign. She has like short hair and she's in green. So she's like the Earth ambassador. Dillian, no idea. Faye, we already had that. I wrote that twice. Evelyn, I think Evelyn is the younger sister of Crossian's fiance. Letitia. She is Crossian's fiance. Oliver is interesting because Oliver is Zoltar's other brother. He has a second brother because after Zoltar disappeared, they had another kid to replace him, and that is Oliver. So Robert ended up needing to marry Bennett, and then Oliver ended up marrying the girl that Robert was initially betrothed to. Yeah, that's Meredith. Meredith is the girl that Oliver has to marry. Sella, no idea. Merle, wait. Fausto. Okay. Sella is the girl that Elias has to marry. Merle is her brother. Because there's supposed to be two ambassadors, but Elias is alone. Fausto is, oh my god, I think Fausto is Crossian's brother. Soterios is Ishka's brother, so he is a wind ambassador. He's like a little guy, and he's supposed to marry Ulrich, and they were like gay married. I remember that. Kia is a water ambassador, and that's it. Okay. I tried my best. We're moving on to Old Man Elias. So this is the only picture I have of Old Man Elias. He was Freya's master. He is Elias's namesake because he helped them out. He helped Elias's parents have Elias in the first place, and they named him after him. This is Elias's mom. She's dead. She seems nice. Moving on. This is Elias's dad. He also seems nice. He is also dead. This is Percy's. This is Percy's mom. She's Lason's sister, and she's dead. This is Rael's dad. He was the king of the pirates. He worked for the Dark Kingdom, really inspired Rael. He was a bit of a womanizer, lots of ladies, but he ended up taking care of Rael when her mom died. Well, he at least tried to. After a while, he found that he just wasn't stable enough to be a dad, so he left Rael with Basil's family so that they could take care of him. But then he died. Yeah, he went away one day and he died. Moving on, this is Basil's parents. They are alive. This is Honeydew. He exists. I think he's married to a mage. He is like an admiral, I believe, but he's not really aware of Olivia's plot to murder Elias. This is Chester. He's a Dark Kingdom soldier. He ends up touching the Dark God's amulet, and yeah, that doesn't go well for him. Other characters. We got the bandits. We got the bandit gang. They were all unique characters at some point, but I have since forgotten. All of the pirates I also forgot. There's like a whole other like band of, well, there's the entire crew that exists. I believe they were all named after like different spices, but again, like I've forgotten. I've got Eris's family, which is kind of interesting. Eris has 4 brothers, one set of twins, one older brother who's moved away and has started a family, and then another brother who's like slightly younger than that brother, and their dad is dead, I believe. And his mom is the one that knitted his scarf, which is very sweet. Anyways, let's go on to Pretty Mouth. We did it. We made it through Sovereign. It's not exactly lore dense. So Pretty Mouth. What is Pretty Mouth? Oh god, what is Pretty Mouth? Pretty Mouth is a BL horror comic. It goes off the rails very quickly. I guess we're going right into it. So this is Evan. What can be said about Evan? He is a homophobe. Yeah, Yeah, that's true. Uh, he ends up having a one night stand with a guy named Rizzo. He's like Evan's like the main character. He's our homophobic gay. He has a one night stand with Rizzo. He thinks Rizzo's a freak because Rizzo is a monster. Meanwhile, Evan has three mouths. He has one mouth on his neck. He has his regular mouth. Sorry. He has one mouth on his neck. He has his regular mouth. And then he has a horrifying mouth on his chest. But Rizzo's the freak, not Evan. He was cursed by a guy named Ira. We will get into that eventually. So this is Rizzo. Rizzo is a monster. He is also a sweetheart. He is the son of Eldritch Goop. Yeah, so Rizzo, one night stand with Evan. And he just wants to help Evan. You know, Evan acts like a complete ass to him, and all Rizzo wants to do is help. Oh, wait, I'm not ready to move off. Okay. All Rizzo wants to do is help out. You know, like, Rizzo has terrible self-esteem because he was bullied as a child, and I think people have a natural distrust for him because of being a goop monster. In the Pretty Mouth world, people are not aware that monsters exist at all. I think, like, Rizzo is just kissing Evan or whatever, learns that he has extra mouths, and is like, oh, cool, another monster. Finally, someone who gets me. But then Evan behaves awful to him and treats him like trash. So Ramona is cursed to be a mouth on Evan's neck. Like, her body is like unconscious somewhere, and her mouth is on Evan's neck. And that's where her consciousness resides. She is a babe, and she is really nice to Rizzo. She's very thankful for his help. I think it's easier to be the bigger person when you are the one that doesn't have a body. She is Ira's ex, actually. Side note. So the guy that cursed them, yeah, that's her ex. Next we have Alicia. She is Evan's childhood friend. They're co-workers. They work at a grocery store together. And she doesn't know anything about monsters. She just knows that her friend's been acting weird lately. And she's trying to, like, not pry too much, but also kind of wants to pry. And, like, yeah, things are awkward between them. But she always supports her little buddy. The next character is Silver. Silver can see everything. Like, that's her big thing. She's like, I can see everything. And the reason she can see everything is she got attacked by Goop. And when she was attacked by Goop, she acquired a whole bunch of eyes. The reason that she's wearing the bag on her head is that her face is horrific. It is body horror. There are eyes everywhere. And some of those eyes are magical and allow her to see the unseeable. Oh, thank you for becoming a member. Yeah, and she's being followed around by a witch. The reason that the witch is following her is because Silver is the only one that's able to see her. After acquiring these magical eyes, she is able to see the witch, and the witch is trying to use Silver for her own gain. Ira. Oh. So Ira is Ramona's ex. Ira's also Evan's ex. Yeah, he cursed both of them. He was cheating on both of them with each other, and then he cursed them and merged them together. He is a witch, and he is a witch of Hal the Trickster, which we will get into. And I think we'll get into a little more about Ira's backstory. Yes. So this is Ira's mother. She is also a witch. Well, they weren't really... I guess you could say they were both witches at the same time. She tortured her daughter to please her god Hal. Because Hal is attracted to human suffering, and it grants its power to those that align with it, I suppose. She turned her daughter into soup, and she groomed Ira into being the next witch. And that's why Ira is such a messed up little guy. He has always been in the position of becoming the witch of the trickster god, and it really messed him up. Eventually, she dies, and she exits the mortal coil of her own accord because she does not want to be stuck as a witch, because it actually kind of sucks to be a witch. This is Ira's dad. He helped his mom in the worshipping of Hal. He was just kind of like kind of an assistant in all of this, and he ends up dead as well. You can read. This is Ira's little sister. She grew up in a cage in the basement. I'm going through this so fast, but oh my god. When I was collecting all this info, I was like, oh my god, I forgot about Ira's whole backstory. What the hell is this? But yeah, so she grew up in a cage in the basement. She was stuck with Hal. Hal lived in the basement with her. You can see like the bites on her arm or whatever. She was just kind of tormented and used as a pawn to gain more power from Hal. Eventually, she was put out of her misery, and she was turned into soup and fed to her brother. This is Evan's mom. Okay, away from the Ira family. Whew, we escaped it. Evan, I can't believe you dated that man. And oh my god, no wonder you got cursed. Anyways, Evan's mom, I'm sure she's nice. No, she's a homophobe. she's not good. She kicked Evan out when he was a teenager. And he went right to Ira. Ira found him after he had just been kicked out, and he took Evan in, and Evan lived with him. And then Evan ended up cursed. So thanks, Mom. She now thinks Evan's doing great and has a girlfriend and everything's all better. He's like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend named Ramona, but he doesn't. He just has a mouth on his neck. This is Ethan. He's Silver's brother. Looks kind of familiar. I don't know. This is Alice. She's Silver's sister. After her sister dies, did I mention that Silver dies? You should have assumed, I guess. So yeah, Silver being followed around by that witch or whatever, like, starts to do its bidding. Doesn't end well for her. She ends up dead. And after her sister dies, Alice just starts drawing eldritch abominations all the time. She's a very important character. This is Hal, the trickster, like a portion of his mouth. He is an eldritch monster. He is attracted to sadism. He is a sadistic god made of flesh. He's kind of based on like a spider. He's like a flesh spider. And he exchanges his power for torture. This is the witch. We have mentioned her. She is Hal's original witch. She's the OG. She is the one that corrupted Hal with her own sadistic desires. So the way that monsters work in this world is that monsters like inherently don't have their own desires. They just slowly get infected by the humans, the witches. Witches are kind of like... Witches are humans, and humans will infect monsters with their desires and like change them. So Hal slowly became corrupted by her own like sadism, and that's why he is what he is. And like she remains an influence on him, and that's why he ended up with the desires that he had. And why he only shares his power in the way that he does, is he is corrupted by this witch, and she used to be a human herself. Um, Eventually, she was sacrificed to the consumption, so she's very old. Um, and she was in a village, and she was capturing girls and tormenting them, and eventually they figured out she was the one that was doing it, that she was the one that was doing it. She was like disfiguring people. And so she gets caught, and they drag her to the Consumption, who is another monster. He is the goop monster, actually. We mentioned him before. He's the one that gave Silver all the eyes. So they take her, and they threw her into the goop. And in the process, she lost her face. The goop took her face, took her eyes from her, and banished her from existence. And that's why no one's able to see her until Silver gets the magical eyes. Yeah, like Silver is the only one that's able to see her. Her plan is to kill the Consumption and regain her connection to Hal. Like, she's been following Ira's family around, and just she's been like distanced from Hal, and she wants her power back. Like, that's her whole deal. Yeah, R.I.P. Silver. This is the Consumption. He's a goop. He's a goop dude. He's an eldritch being. He's liquefied corpses. He's just like a whole bunch of dead together. Bleh. He is an embodiment of humanity's insatiable greed. And like when he starts eating something, he wants more and more and more. It's a little spirited away now that I think about it, but yeah, that's kind of what he's like. And he's actually Rizzo's dad, which is cool. Like, he has chilled out so much since becoming a dad. Rizzo is just such a sweetie, and like that has just affected him, and he's not as much of a insatiable monster thing anymore. He's kind of chilled. He's kind of a cool guy. He loves his son. We love Monster Dad. Did we do it? Yes. Oh my god. Oh, okay. We made it through Pretty Mouth, guys. Thank the Lord. Oh, we're free. We're on to the Magpie. Give me a sec to drink some water. Thank you, Goop, for changing for your children. Yeah. I think we're doing good. What do you think? Oh. Sped through my comics, sped through those ones, you know? Hydration time, good running. All right. So this is the Magpie. And I actually really like this comic. I'm still working on it right now. The Magpie is a prequel to Pretty Mouth, so a lot of what we just talked about does apply to this. Monster Dad is in it. He's in the prologue. He has some effects on the story, so remember Monster Dad, you better, because I put him at the end on purpose. And yeah, I just really like it. I'm still working on it. This is as spoiler-free as I can make it. So this is Amanda. She is trapped in a she is trapped in a town called Pinewood, which is like a northern Ontario city, very cold, freezing. She's noticed that if she tries to leave, she ends up right back in Pinewood again. It's very cold. Oh wait, no, I think that's about her personality. She's a very cold person, very guarded, very to herself. And she's being courted by an elder god. She doesn't know it at the beginning of the story, but very quickly, an elder god starts making the moves on her. This is Trixie, our other main character. She's the new girl in town. Her mom recently died, unfortunately. It's very sad. She's a lesbian, which is very fortunate for her. She's an optimist, and she is here to help Amanda solve mysteries. She very quickly takes a liking to Amanda, who is also a lesbian. It just works out that way, and they work together to unravel the mysteries of Pinewood. And then she kisses Amanda. I didn't realize there would be another point there, but yes. They start dating. This is Dennis Sharp. Dennis is Amanda's dad. He knows about elder gods. He is a witch of the consumption. So the Goop Dad, Monster Dad, he's one of Monster Dad's witches. And he wants to protect his daughter because he knows about elder gods, and he knows that there is an elder god in the town. He became a witch of the consumption when he was very, very young. I think he was 6 years old. He was a tiny man at the time. And he is blind. Yeah, Dennis is blind. It's has to do with how his brain works. It's like a I don't know the term right off the top of my head right now, but it's more like a cognition thing. So his eyes can take in information, but his brain can't really process it. So his ability to see is very much affected by like stress levels and things. He has seizures, and it's just not a great time for him. He also he has trouble like mapping things in his head. Like that part is damaged as well. So he fumbles around a bit, and he needs help doing things, which is fine. We all need help sometimes. This is Margie. She is Amanda's mom. She doesn't want to talk about monsters. She has heard mention of it from Dennis, and she has silenced the topic. She's like, no, I'm never hearing this. There's no such thing as monsters. I'm not trapped in a town with an elder god. That's a lie. No. She teaches grade 2, because this is a Canadian story. It's not second grade, it's grade 2. She's a grade 2 teacher. She is an immigrant. She came to Canada at some point, as an adult, I would believe. The story is set in the 80s, and man, when I first started writing this, I didn't realize how much history research you need to make things make sense. But yeah, she immigrated from India, I believe, and what is on her face is a wine stain, which is like a birthmark. Some people think it's vitiligo, like especially when they were first reading when people were first reading the comic and it was like all black and white. People thought it was vitiligo, but no, it is a port wine stain. This is the Magpie. We've alluded to her enough. She is the elder god that traps everyone in Pinewood, ? I mean, it's not confirmed, I don't think, but maybe it is. She has fallen in love with Amanda, and she is a stupid bird. She likes to kind of pontificate. She speaks very flowery. She has very, very flowery language. She wants what she wants. This is Finch. Everyone loves Finch's design, and I agree. It's great design. She is Magpie's current witch. Oh, thank you for your membership, Mika. Or Micah. She hides away in the Horde. So the Magpie is a magpie, like a magpie-based thing, and she hoards things. So underneath Pinewood, there's just like a horde of all sorts of stuff and corpses. And that is where Finch lives. She's a very angry. I don't know if you can tell or not yet, but she's a pretty angry lady. She's Chris's little sister. We have not mentioned Chris yet, but we will get into Chris's description very shortly. And she's also Dylan's mom, which we will also get into. This is Chris. Christopher Avery. He is Finch's big brother. and he is Dylan's dad. He's not actually his dad. It's a bit confusing. But they are siblings. They are siblings. He's not Dylan's actual dad. Dylan just calls him his dad. He's actually Dylan's uncle. Yeah. He kisses Dennis. He is cheating with Dennis. Dennis is cheating on Margie with Chris because, I don't know, morality is a gray thing, isn't it? Yeah, and he's very overwhelmed. Everyone hates the Averys. They just got bad vibes to them. And Chris is kind of left to his own devices. Dennis is like kind of the first person that doesn't hate Chris for no reason. And I think it's because Dennis, I'm just speculating. I don't know if this is confirmed or not. But I think it's because Dennis is aware of all the monster stuff. That seems to be a bit of an antidote to this whole thinking the Averys are bad for no reason. Speaking of Averys, more Averys, this is Dylan. Dylan is also called Pickle because he's a dill pickle. That's adorable. He's Finch's son. He wants to have a happy family, but the fact that I'm writing that he wants to have a happy family means he doesn't. His mom hates him. His mom yells at him and mistreats him. Amanda takes care of him a lot of the time. She's his babysitter, and she worries about him because obviously he's being neglected and treated poorly. And yeah, he lives in the Horde with his mom. He gets to escape and go to school sometimes, but there's no escape from Pinewood. This is Tammy. Tammy. Tammy is a girl in Amanda's school. She's a bit of a bully. She's best friends with Amy, and she has a really bad home life. She also thinks Amanda's a bit of a bitch, but, you know, Amanda is a little bit sometimes. This is Amy. Amy is Tammy's BFF. They might be more than BFFs, according to Ursula, but, you know, whatever. Her dad shot her in her face. That's why she looks like that. I think she's still cool, because, like, being disabled doesn't make you a freak. That's just like a side note. Like, some people are like so freaked out by Amy and like can't get over her. Like, by some people I mean like readers. They're like, why aren't people more freaked out by Amy? Like, well, the reason is that they've known Amy since she was in grade 2 when she got shot. So like they've always known Amy, and this is just what Amy looks like. She doesn't really hate Amanda. Amanda feels like she does because, you know, like Tammy's loud and going bop bop bop, but like Amy doesn't have anything bad to say about her. She usually communicates through like writing things down. Yeah, and this is Samantha. She is Amy's twin sister. Her dad killed her, and she was the more charismatic of the two, but she is gone now. This is Walter Day. He is dating Amy. He got stabbed by a pencil. Wait, that was a while ago. Okay, so basically what happened was that he was making fun of Amy for her sister being dead, and she turned around and stabbed him with a pencil, and then they started dating. That's the order of events. Meg the world of Pinewood is a cruel one, where people just are like mean for no reason sometimes. So yeah. Spoilers. Do you guys want the spoilers? Like, it does exist within the comic. Like, if you've read book 3, volume 3, you know the spoilers. What do you think? Should I spoil now? It's giving small town. Yes. Walter doesn't exist. Okay. That's the spoiler. Walter is actually a corpse. Yeah, Walter's actually a corpse that is like, because like a lot of Pinewood is actually like a hallucination created by the Elder God. And Walter is just one of those hallucinations. So he's actually just a corpse that Amy like is holding and bringing around with her, and not a real person. Just include a spoiler warning plus speed up for one. Speed up a minute. Yeah. This is Hannah Giles. Hannah is Trixie's grandmother. She is a psychologist. She was originally brought to Pinewood because all of the teenagers were going insane. They were going crazy. They called it a snow madness, where they would just go crazy and then they would disappear into the forest and never come back. And all of the teens that disappeared were pregnant teen girls. So yeah, that's why she was here. And she is a member of Book Club. Book Club is a club that Margie is in, and a lot of them are in Book Club. Yeah, so that's her deal. This is Bernadette Giles. She's Trixie's mom. She ran away from home. One day she was with child and she disappeared into the forest. And she was a bit of a party girl. And Hannah just didn't know what to do with her. She is the last teenager to have gone missing in Pinewood. After Bernadette went missing, the snow crazy went away. And she is now dead. Yeah. This is Deborah McBride. She has a perfect life. She is the mother of Susie, and she is a member of Book Club. There's not much to be said about Deborah. This is James McBride. I don't have a picture of him because he's never appeared in the comic. He's Debbie's husband. I'm not even sure his name is James. I worry that I just picked up a James because Silent Hill, but I think he was always named James. Now I'll never know. This is Susan McBride. She's Debbie's daughter. She's in school with Dylan, and Dylan bit her. Here we have Sandra Summers. She's Tammy's mom. She's being abused by her husband, as you can see by her neck. And she is a member of Book Club. This is Doyle Summers. This is Tammy's dad, Sandra's wife. He abuses her, and he is going crazy. I don't know if you can tell or not. Oh no. Here we have Anna Park. She is Amy and Sammy's mom. She survived her husband's breakdown attack thing, unlike Sammy. And now she is a single mom to Amy. She's also a member of Book Club. Here we have Brett Park. He is Amy's husband. He was a nature photographer, and he moved to Pinewood and just snapped one day and, was talking about needing to get everyone safe. And yeah, then he killed Sammy, and then he also killed himself. Yeah. Sorry, Brett. Here we have Nana. He is Amanda's grandma. He's Amanda's grandpa and Margie's dad. He's a nice old man. He's super supportive of his daughter, and he super loves his granddaughter, and he died of hypothermia. Yep. Him and Amanda were on a trip to go to a cottage up north, and they never made it. They decided to challenge a snowstorm, and they lost. Here we have Dada. He's Dennis's dad. I have a lot on Dada for no reason. He was an indentured servant when he was a kid. He was... Brett was a bear for real. Yeah, he came to Canada at the age of 7 and was indentured. He was an indentured servant. He worked on a farm. He eventually escaped that by signing up to go into the war effort in World War One. While he was in the trenches, he saw God and went crazy. He saw an elder god, the god. His life has been terrible ever since, filled with like relationships that don't go anywhere. Eventually, he kidnaps Dennis, his son. When Dennis is like 4 years old or so, he runs off with him to make him the Witch of the Consumption, because Dada's life is all about trying to find the god that he glimpsed, but did not but he wasn't made a witch by that god. It's very complicated. Regardless, he goes to the Consumption to get information about this, and he forces Dennis to become the Consumption's witch, and then Dennis doesn't like this life, and he asks the Consumption to please let him go, and the Consumption, he's kind of like, this is Consumption's arc, you know, like this is the beginning of the Consumption's character arc, where he's like, I don't really want to just like keep a sad little boy trapped here, whatever. So he releases Dennis from the forest or whatever, and this makes Dada freaking pissed. So Dada beats the living shit out of Dennis and subsequently causes his blindness. And then there's a lot of other stuff that happens that would be like spoilers for stuff that I haven't even reached in the comic. So we are going to move on to the Star Eater. We have very little to say about the Star Eater. It is a big god in the sky. It eats stars. Onward. This is Bill. Well, it's actually Dennis sitting beside Bill. Bill was Dennis's first boyfriend. He was a witch to the Star Eater. Bill thought that he went blind one day, but he didn't actually go blind. He just saw everything. He connected to the Star Eater and gained a vision beyond comprehension, and now he can see through time and space, and he breaks up with Dennis because he knows that he's always destined to break it up with Dennis at this moment. And yeah, we feel bad for Bill. I think that's it. Yeah, other than Redacted and Redacted, they're very important characters. I can't talk about them. The Scourge of 9 Point. How am I doing, guys? Oh my god, I can't believe how many I've got through. This is crazy. I think we can get through 9 Point. I think we can do it. Bro, no way we're doing all of them? I think we're doing all of them. Alright, buckle in, because we're going to do 9 Point now. Alright, so what is there to say about 9 Point? It is a very, very big comic. Cats are jerks. And other animals also exist. The basis for it is that it is a story about cat knights where calicos are oppressed. And pointed cats have different powers and stuff. I have lots of videos on it. And I'm sure I'll get into some things. So let's start with the main characters. So we have Marble Blackpaw. He is an Arctic raccoon. He's actually not an Arctic raccoon at all. He is a rare male calico. He is being bullied by all the other raccoons in his village. And he's not really aware that he is actually a cat. Other than that, he's just a little guy. We have Mitzi Duckslayer. She is a young page training to be a knight. She is a propaganda enjoyer. She is so down to murder the calicos and so excited to one day do so. She is applying to be a squire. She got that job application grind, but it has not been going well for her until she finally receives a callback from a knight, and that's kind of where she is in the story. We got Princess Lace. She is a blue-eyed white cat, meaning that she is deaf, and that she is meaning that she is deaf, and she is in tune with the spirit world. It's based on the fact that blue-eyed white cats tend to be deaf in real life, but basically her soul resides within the spiritual world, and she can enter a spiritual body, and she is unable to hear and fully connect with the real world. Because of this, she is supposed to go to the Temple of White. Like, young white cats are awoken in the spirit world for their protection, but her parents didn't want to do that because the spirit world is actually kind of a dangerous place, and they wanted to protect her and not allow her to fully awaken in the spirit world for a long time. And she's been kept away in the castle, the castle, for her protection. But as of the beginning of the story, she is finally moving to the Temple of the Temple of White. They can't stop her from awakening. She actually ends up awakening before they realize that she does. We'll get into that a bit later when we discuss other characters. And then our final main character is Princess Ice. She is Lace's little sister. She loves her sister and really doesn't want her to be sent away. And she was not well prepared for this to happen. She's also very fighty, especially with her dad. We're gonna go over characters that have designs. Their relevance will completely vary throughout all of this. Everything is going to vary in level of importance. Don't take any character to... Don't assume anyone's important. I sometimes flesh out the most random characters. So this is Penny Blackpaw. Okay, she's kind of important. She is the raccoon that adopted Marble. Her life revolves around caring for him. She lives in like a village where all the female raccoons live, and the men aren't allowed to enter. Young raccoons, however, are allowed to be in the village, obviously, because they're being raised by their mothers. Marble has a surname? Yeah, he does. She is lying to him. She's the one who's told him that he is actually an Arctic raccoon. She just doesn't want to hurt his little heart and tell him that he's actually a cat. She's just kept that to herself. And she thinks this will help him with the whole being bullied and feeling ostracized thing. She's like, no, you're actually a raccoon, I swear. This is Ember Longsocks. He is Marble's stepdad. So he got with Penny like after Penny had already adopted Marble. That's why he's like his stepdad. He wants Marble to join his gang to become a real raccoon. Like, he knows that he's not like a real raccoon. He knows that he's a cat, but like Ember sees that like in his spirit, in his soul, he's a raccoon, and he wants him to join his gang because raccoons of a certain age, the boys specifically, will join a gang and cause mischief. He is the fiery, passionate leader at the heart of his gang as well. This is Puff. Nothing bad happens to Puff. He is the first member to join Ember's gang. You could almost say it's like Puff and his gang, but no, it's Ember's gang, and Puff joined it. He grew up in Penny's village. So he grew up in the same village as Penny before he went out on his own, whereas Ember is from a distant raccoon village. He's the reasonable one of the group. He keeps things grounded. This is Sprout. He is the youngest member of Ember's gang. He is scared of women, and he is trying his best. He's new to this, and he's doing the best he can. I can't believe this is like the only close-up I have of Sprout. Anyways, This is Matches. Matches is also a member of Ember's gang. Puff didn't really want him to join because he's kind of weird. But Ember saw it. Ember saw the potential in Matches and invited him in. He finds that Matches is just a great sounding board. And Matches is a nonverbal raccoon. We stand a nonverbal king. This is Mrs. Twig. She is an elder in the raccoon village. She has glasses. After fighting Ursula about a 9 Point not having glasses, I just realized that she has glasses. She is a master at arguing with boars being male raccoons. Oh, Ursula's coughing. And she is a no-nonsense lady. This is Dusty. He is a coyote that is always up to mischief and schemes. He found Marble when he was a kitten, and he was planning to eat him, but instead he sold him to Penny, and Penny went and raised him. He ditched town a little while ago, and just no one has seen him since. This is Sir Feathercatcher the Blue. He is an older knight that accepted to meet with Mitzi, so he is her callback. He spends his life kind of focusing on paperwork. He does the census where he keeps track of all of like the recent like births and stuff, because like the only calicos that really exist are like children or whatever, so he keeps track of anyone who's having a kitten in certain villages within his like region, and he makes sure that no calicos are born. That's like his thing. He's a paperwork guy. The banality of evil. He's a traumatized cat too. That's why he doesn't get up to much mischief. This is Lady Larkbane. She spends her time hunting calicos that eluded the 9 Point Empire. She busts underground networks of calico traffickers, which sounds like a good thing, but no, she stops people from rescuing baby calicos and sending them to safety. You know, like how Marble was a baby and ended up in a little bundle. She finds people who traffic those bundles and shows them justice. She has no chill. Well, I guess she kind of has chill. His name is Sir Peaches the Cream. He is Larkbane's buddy. He keeps Larkbane from going feral, but he also kills calicos. So why he have to be so cute, guys? This is King Mittens. He is the king of the 9 Point Empire, which sounds super prestigious, but he's not actually in charge. The king of 9 Point is just the long descendants of... the king is based on descendant lineage, but the queen is chosen by the king to rule the kingdom. There's always been like a female ruler of 9 Point. It's just like the tradition. So he's kind of second in command of 9 Point. And he has a lot of trouble with his daughter Ice. She's just such a rapscallion, and he gets so mad at her. This is Queen Snow. She was selected by Mittens to be the queen. She is a stern kitty and a very strong lady. And she worries about her baby daughters, like maybe a little bit too much. Let me adjust one sec. Yeah, she kind of regrets her decision to shield Lace from the spirit world, which has kind of like stunted her development and ability to communicate with the world. But yeah, she's very conflicted on it because she just really doesn't want her daughter having to live in the spirit world. This is Brother Flossie. Speaking of the spirit world, he is a high-ranking member of the Temple of White, the Order of White Cats. He's an odd-eyed cat, so he can communicate with both the physical and spiritual world. Yeah, he's like a go-between. He's a very high-ranking official. He oversees all of the high society white kittens. He looks after them, and he is a very nice man. He's genuinely a nice cat, and one of the first cats we're seeing that doesn't do murder. A theme of royalty being powerless. Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. It's interesting. This is Mr. Buttons. He is a servant of Sir Feathercatcher, and he manages the manor. He keeps all of the servants in line. He is a very, very busy man. No nonsense. You can't get anything past him. He's known Feathercatcher since he was a baby, and he has just always looked after the Feathercatcher Manor and will for a good time to come. This is Pepper. Pepper is a page studying to be a knight. He's Mitzi's best friend. He looks like a bidoof, and he's probably not going to make it as a knight. He is put into it because he's a noble kitten of noble birth, but seal points are very common, and they don't need knights as much as they used to be. They don't need knights as much as they used to anymore, so he's probably not going to make it. He's just too sweet, too bidoof. But we love him. He's trying. This is Valerian. Getting back to when Lace first awoke in the spirit world. She is a calico soul that is in the spirit world. She discovers Lace before the Order does, and spoilers that I'm not actually going to spoil. I can't. I just can't. We all know she's going to be something important, though, so, like, obviously. This is Ghost. He's a lilac point, or she is. I forget their gender. They're a lilac point. They're a page. They're cute. They'll be around more. This is Smudge. Smudge was supposed to have a little white smudge on their lip. I don't know what Ursula was doing. They're another page that will be important later. And they're friends with Ghost and Pepper, which is such a great pairing of names. No way. My childhood warrior cat OC was called Ghost. It's amazing. I'm out of water. I have to go get a new glass of water. Gotta keep hydrated. You better feed those kitties. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, our friends' cats are named Ghost and Pepper, which makes sense. It's like a good team of names. This was like accidental. Okay. Then we have Lady Current, the Lilac. She is a teacher. She teaches all of the pages. She focuses a lot on theory. She's like less about the practical skills than like I imagine the other teachers are who do like swordsmanship and stuff. And she is frequently annoyed by Mitzi. Mitzi is always on her. Mitzi is the star student and is always ready to answer questions, even though The teacher doesn't need the answer to the question. She's asking the class, obviously, but, I digress. Um, yeah, that's Lady Current. So we're moving on to characters where I don't have pictures for them, but I did find pictures for a lot of them. So there's at least that to be enjoyed. So let's get into some Aristocats. Nya's evilly. Very good. Uh, because I know Ursula was designing Bear Claw, but like I didn't get to that. I don't have images of that yet. So we got Sir Bearclaw the Black. He is one of the very few black cats that managed to become a knight. He's scrappy. He is an intense kitty. He focuses on his conspiracies. He's very intense and very focused on his conspiracies. And he rescued a noble as a kitten, and that's how he became a knight. Was he showed his prowess, and yeah, that is how this scrappy boy became a knight. Next, we have Lady Pretzels the Flame. She is a regal cat that is training Squire Quickwhiskers. I realized I didn't get a picture of the scrungly boy. I was trying to find mostly like public domain images, so I didn't track down a good picture for him. I don't know why I'm looking for like public domain images for my meme PowerPoint, but god damn it, I did. Anyways, so Lady Pretzels is like a relaxed teacher compared to the other knights. The other knights are like way too uptight, and she's just kind of chill. Yeah, she's just very refined. I couldn't not use this image though. Sir Strudel the Seal, he is a friend of Sir Feathercatcher. He likes food, doesn't do much battle these days. Himalayan. Him not a walkin' much these days. He's nya. Next we have Lady Macron the Seal. She's a seal point, sent to do investigations. Yeah, that's it. We got Lady Madeline the Blue. She works on the census, much like Sir Feathercatcher does. However, she is a calico sympathizer. Disgusting. She still will kill, however, just to keep her cover and not be like uncovered by the 9-Point Empire, but she helps in smuggling calicos. Now we have Lord Baguette. Lord Baguette is... Lord Baguette owns a slave mine. He imprisons wildlanders, and he's not a pointed cat, so he has no special powers. He's just a very fancy man. Baguette, no. Yeah. Next we have Lady Sparrowheart the Seal. She's a member of the Royal Guard. She's used to things being peace times, and surely nothing bad will happen, because this comic is going to be set during peace times. Lady Sparrowheart will be fine. Lord Lemonloaf the Lynx. He was killed by a polar bear. He is Sir Feathercatcher's boyfriend. Well, he was Sir Feathercatcher's boyfriend. Yeah, but he died and he probably deserved it. Next we have the Temple of White. So I didn't get pictures for this because they're all just white cats. So we're just going to go through them real quick. So we got the kittens. We got Angel. She's a blue-eyed cat. Taffeta, she's like the oldest of the team. I think she's also a blue-eyed cat. Flurry is an odd-eyed kitten. Crystal is a blue-eyed kitten. And then Pearl is a green-eyed kitten. That's it. There's not much extra to it. Brothers and sisters, we have Sister Sugar. I don't remember what her deal is. Brother Cotton is kind of like a lower end member, I think. Sister Azure is kind of the same. Sister Frost? Oh wait, no, Sister Sugar is high ranking. Yeah, Sister Sugar is like a high ranking cat, up there with Brother Flossie, and she's very strict, and she's close to the queen. Yeah, Brother Cotton's lower in the rank. Sister Azure as well. I don't remember Sister Floss. I don't remember Brother Swift, I'll be real with you. And Brother Ivory is like a big tough guy. He's like a tough priest. He's like priest but thick. Anyways, other cats. We got Lapis. We got Autumn. We got Mrs. Apricot. We got Patches, Lucky, Minerva, Belle, Cricket, Marmalade, Dot, Radish, Winter, Tulip, Jinx, Beatrice, Storm, Jasmine, Bijou, Saffron, Pumpkin, Hemlock, Mrs. Ash, Mrs. Dover, Mr. Dover, and Ginger. All right, let's move to canines. Bow wow. We got Dew. Dew is a wolf. Her mother was killed by cats, so basically the cats have been killing caniforms and doing colonialism. So yeah, her mother was killed in a fire. Her mother is actually a coyote, and she is like a coy wolf, and she's super religious. A lot of the canines are super hecking religious. It's something that will come up a lot with them. We got Ruby. Look at that big nose. Oh my god. Ruby is a prisoner at Lord Baguette's mine. She came from the Jaw in the Rock, which is a huge settlement of wolves. It's like as big as the 9 Point Empire, basically. It's pretty huge, and yeah, she was a very important member. She was Alpha's Jaw, which is a warrior. I think she's like a prisoner of war, honestly. But yeah, that's Ruby. Next we have Rust. Rust is a non-binary coy wolf. Sorry, I just love the look of just this page right now. Coy wolves and 9 Point, like I know like scientifically it's not just like, oh, wolf and coyote got together, but in 9 Point that's what it is. We're just going with that. So Rust is a non-binary coy wolf. They're super cool, and they are dating a rebel cat. That's just like relationship goals. Now we have Slate. He is Ruby's cousin. He is also a prisoner at the mine, and he is a religious zealot. Then we have Ivy. She is a member of a small woodland pack. So like there's all sorts of different wolf groups. There's like one dominant religion that most wolves follow, with different sects of it, obviously. And there's like a huge stronghold of wolves in the prairies, but then there's like smaller groups. So she's from a very small woodland pack. It's basically just her and her family. It's like a family pack. So yeah, that's her deal. And she's the brains of her siblings. Speaking of her siblings, we have Rocky. He's Ivy's brother. He doesn't think things through, and he would eat a puppy. I don't know why a puppy specifically, but he would do that. Moving onward, we have Mila. She is the mother of Ivy and Rocky. She has a bunch of ravens that she uses to help find her prey, and she is very wise. She is knowledgeable of the scriptures and such. Now we're going to move on to some other wolves, and mostly coyotes, because they kind of look the same, or I don't really know. Like, I don't know who Nova is. I don't really remember. I'll be real with you guys. I think they are like they're from a small group of wolves that is close by to the jaw in the rocks, but isn't actually part of it, I think. Sienna is the same. Then we have Wren, who is a coyote living in the prairies. We have Chickadee, who's like a young coyote. We have Swan, Sparrow, and Meadowlark. Those are all coyotes. Now we have Thistle. He is a gray fox, and his family was killed by cats. He has horrible burn scars. He's rocking kind of a Prince Zuko look, and he is on a revenge quest. Let's go Thistle. Next we have Soot Smolderclaw. They are the teenage daughter of the Smolderclaw pack. They're a little red fox. They're very curious, and they make their parents worried because they live really close to the jaw and the rocks, and the wolves don't really care for any canines other than wolves. Like, we can feel bad about Ruby and Slate being imprisoned at the mine, but do not make a mistake that wolves are also oppressors. And wolves are also super nasty in 9 Point. They're basically as bad as the cats, okay? So they live in Soot lives in a little den with her family, and she likes to explore and stuff, but her parents are worried that she will be hate crimed. Ash Smolderclaw is Soot's younger brother. He is a baby, like a literal baby, like a little toddler. And he likes to copy his sister, which is not good because she is up to trouble. And then we have Rose. She also lives in the prairies. She is the mother of a pack of swift foxes, and she lives in fear of the wolves, much like the red foxes that are her neighbors. And yeah, the Smolderclaw pack is her neighbors. Now we're going to move on to bats. Peep, peep, peep. Okay, so we have Squeak. Squeak is a hoary bat who roosts with the little brown bats for the winter. She's much larger than they are. She is much more independent. She is tough. She lives a solitary life, whereas the little brown bats live together year round. She just goes with the little brown bats during the winter to hibernate and keep warm. Yeah. Then we have some little brown bats. We have Melody. She's like an older bat that lives in the bat caves. We have Octavia. That's one of her spouses. They're polyamorous, all of the bats. Piper is like a young bat, and Treble is another young bat. They're best friends. And now we're going to move on to miscellaneous animals. And then I think we're going to be done 9 Point. So we got Birch and Bark. They are a pair of beavers. They live together. They don't like cats. Anything else would be spoilers. Next we have Snap. He is an otter living next to the raccoon village. He dislikes everyone. We have Clover. She is an adventurous little mouse, and she is not afraid of cats. I'm just describing their relationship to cats because I don't have much else to tell you. We have Saber. Saber is a wolverine. She lost one of her paws, her like hand paws, to an infected bite. She had to lop off her arm to stop the infection. She's a scavenger. She wanders the winter and will find people who are trapped in avalanches, and if they're alive, she is like, okay, I help you survive, and if they're dead, they become her meal. It's like win-win. She either saves you or she gets a snack, you know? That's Saber. And her dad is a whaler, and they like to hang out on winter holidays. This is Brine. Brine bit Saber. He's the one who did it. She was doing some fishing when he attacked her and pulled her under the water. But when he was pulled under the water, he didn't notice like an orca. I forget the details. But basically, Saber saves his life from the orca despite him biting her. And he learns his lesson from that, and he treats Saber really well. And now that he has a whole bunch of lady sea lions, like a troop of his own, he is always nice to Saber. Then we have Morel. They're just like a tiny little guy, and they're doing their best. I couldn't find a picture of a pygmy shrew, but he's like tiny. He's like hamster sized for he's like a hamster sized guy. And this is Huckleberry. She feels bad because she eats a lot and sleeps too much, and she's constantly apologizing for hibernating. And then we have Pinecone. Pinecone is a lookout for his village. He is tough. Don't mess with Pinecone. And that is it. That is all of the 9-point characters. I couldn't go super in depth with them, but there was so many of them. I did it, guys. I did all 3. Holy shit. Oh my god, is Miku's eating gravy. Miku, stop it. Get out. Stop eating gravy. Oh, it took all day for the one video to render, so this one's gonna take a whole day to render as well. But I can start working on the other one. I have like so many more OCs to get through. It was easy to get through all the comic ones. I'm gonna struggle my way through all of the RP ones, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna end the broadcast now because I don't have a voice anymore. It takes a lot to talk through all of this. But yeah, I will see you guys another time. Hopefully not tomorrow. Like, aside from like the obvious like stream or whatever, but I probably should give my voice a break after this. All right, goodbye.